It is yet another exciting time where we get to see another interesting, educative video. Today's presentation is about the pelvic girdle pain. I'm going to do this presentation in 5 parts. The first part, we're going to look at the picture of the pelvis so that you just have an understanding of what we are referring to when we say the pelvis or the pelvic girdle. The second being I'll talk about the hormone which is involved. The third, I'll talk about the effects of this hormone to the pelvis. The fourth one, I talk about the symptoms of pelvic girdle pain, and the last being the management of pelvic girdle pain. Before we go into the discussion, I'm urging you to like this video, comment, and most of all, hit the subscription button so that you can get a notification every time I post a new video, and that is the only way you can show support to me. So hit the subscription, subscribe, and thank you for subscribing. In this picture, you see the pelvis or the pelvic girdle. Look at it more closer because I will be referring to this structure throughout the presentation. So I'll either say the pelvis or the pelvic girdle, it just means the same thing. The picture we've just seen was just showing the pelvis or the pelvic girdle. So I believe we now know or have a picture in our mind every time we refer to the pelvis or pelvic girdle, what we are trying to talk about or what we're trying to describe. There are a lot of changes that happens to the bones of the pelvis when someone is pregnant. I'm going to show you later another picture of the pelvis, which will be showing the ligaments of the pelvis. When someone is pregnant, at around 6 weeks of gestation, the body begins to produce an hormone called hormone laxin. This hormone has an effect on the ligaments of the pelvis and other ligaments in the body, thereby affecting their mobility in the joints of the pelvis. The hormone laxin relaxes and causes a stretching of the ligaments of the pelvis. Why is it doing this? In order to facilitate outward displacement of the bones to create room for the growing baby, and also to create room when the time of delivery comes. So because of the stretchy and relaxed ligaments, the mobility in the bones of the pelvis becomes more. And with increased mobility, there is an even movement of the joints, which causes pain. So how is the pain felt, or how is it described? The pain has been described to be a sharp, piercing, or burning like pain, which may come suddenly or it may come slowly and sometimes may not even go away. It's very excruciating in some women. For some women, symptoms will relieve or may improve as soon as they deliver. For some women, the symptoms may continue several months after delivery. So this is when now you employ patience. You need to be patient because the same process of the ligaments relaxing and stretching is the same process the ligament is supposed to, the same steps it took. Now it's supposed to take the same steps in reverse to attain the pre-pregnant state. So now take a look at the next picture, highlighting the ligaments and also showing the joints that are being affected because of the stretching and relaxing of the ligaments. This is the pelvis or the pelvic girdle. So the red circles are showing the major areas which are affected by the pain. Then the white thread looking like those are the ligaments. During pregnancy, like we've said, with the effect of hormone laxin, they tend to relax, causing mobility in those bones to be more, hence causing pain. The two major factors that causes pelvic girdle pain are one, which we have just been trying to describe, which we've been talking about, the relaxing and stretching of the pelvic ligaments, causing extra mobility in the pelvic joints, and also causing uneven movements. The second factor is the growing baby puts more strain on the pelvis itself and then the pelvic floor muscles. So these two factors causes the pain. Women tend to feel the pain in their waist, their hip joints, and in between their thighs, also the front where at the level of the pubis. As pregnancy advances, you tend to see women, they change their walking style or the gait, they start walking like that, which is called waddle walk. So it's just a measure or a measure the body employs to try and negotiate the growing baby and also negotiate the uneven movements and the extra mobility of the joints in the pelvis. So take a look at the next picture showing the distribution of pain. If you look at the screen, you will notice that there are some areas which have been shaded. So the dark shaded parts is just showing pain distribution. So in those areas, you feel a sharp stabbing or burning pain. It may happen suddenly, it may come slowly, sometimes it may not even go away. So those are the areas where you feel the pain. So now, having discussed about the causes of pelvic girdle pain, the symptoms, we are now going to discuss about the measures one can employ to relieve or manage the pain. Number one, we are saying do not push yourself through the pain. It doesn't help. Number two, avoid standing for a long period of time. If whatever activity that you are doing requires you to stand, take frequent breaks, sit in those breaks, and stand only when it's necessary. When you are seated in a chair like this, avoid crossing your legs like that. The other thing that you can avoid is heavy lifting. Remember, we said the growing fetus has put strain on the pelvic floor muscles with the extra mobility in the bones of the pelvis. You are doing more harm than good with heavy lifting. When you are resting, rather than you resting while sat in a chair, rest while lying down. And when you are lying down or when you are sleeping, get a pillow, place it in between your legs or your thighs. That way you promote alignment and stability in the joints of the hip. The other thing that you can do is to wear flat supportive shoes. You can also get a physio referral, talk to the physiotherapist. They will tell you which are the suitable mild or gentle exercises that you can start doing to help with the pains that you are having. I hope it was clear enough and I hope you have learned something. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I urged everyone to click the subscription button. It's the only way you can show support to me. And thank you for watching. Bye.
Feel like my fingertips were made to touch your